the Justice League. For the Justice League. The shades are on. The hat is kind of tilted. I'm going to have to fix that before it's all said and done. And we are here to celebrate you. That's 250 some odd of you for subscribing to the Geek Out Loud YouTube page. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Geek Out Loud. My name is Steve Glosson. So glad to be along with you all to celebrate 250 subscribers. This is huge to me because, you know, look, Geek Out Loud has forever been a small fish in a big pond, and that makes the YouTube a very small fish in a big pond. And I've discovered through Back to the Wax Packs and all the things that go on with myself and Lethargic Chewy. I really enjoy doing this. Now I've changed up the color scheme to match the hat tonight. So, which is still a bit crooked, but I see myself backwards and I end up, everything is reversed that you're seeing because of the way the camera is. We got some good times tonight. I have been struggling to really be overly sharp, you know, but you know, I just said, all right, I won't be over. I will go back to mediocrity, which is where we go. So, but we're going to have a good time. I did something else today. I want to show you all because this is some of the stuff we'll be talking about. Look at that. Look at that. That I've got a graphic up here right next to my face. And then what, look what I can do. Hold on a second. Look what I can do here. Now let's see, I can do this and then I can do this and then look at this announcement that was made by Hasbro today. You can't see it. I didn't think about Geek Out Loud being there. Well, look, mediocrity is the name of the game. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about some stuff and things, and I'm going to do something that I see other YouTubers doing, and I never thought that I would actually do. I'm going to be opening or going through a box that's been sitting at my house for 2 weeks now, and I was told by the person who sent it that they didn't want to be addressed by who they actually are. They just want to be referred to as Chucky from Kentucky. So Chucky from Kentucky has sent a box of stuff that we're going to go through and see what's what. I'll give you a preview. There it is. We've got an Easter egg hunt we got to do. So that should be fun. And then let's see. I don't know how many people we've got listening right now or watching because I don't know. I don't know how to see that in this particular setup. But that's fine. That's fine. Don't forget, if you want to support us, we welcome your support at patreon.com/geekoutloud. I still have to work on the graphics so that up here everything can be on your screen with like names and stuff. What I see a lot of people do who have Patreon is they will just like put them as the credits. I don't like that. I am going to go the route of the Craftsman, Steady Crafting. And if you don't know who he is, he'll tell you, hello, welcome to the Craftsman Show. My name is your host, the Craftsman. If you're not watching the Craftsman, that's CARFSMAN on YouTube, then I don't know what you're doing with your life, but check him out. And I'm going to copy him because what he does is he throws up his Patreon supporters usually in the middle of the video so that, you know, you don't just cut it off. And so people get their just due of like, hey, look, I'm supporting this chump, and I want people to know that I do that. So so glad everyone's here who is here. Let's see what's going on here. Let's do a roll call. I'll start. Fighting Templar is here. So that's one. Shaz Bazaar is here. That's 2. Stuffity says 9. All right, guys. Stuffity just looked at the number and answered. But then he gets on board. 3. Stuffy's 3. Hello, Neil C. And then Lisa says 3, but she's actually 4. So glad to have Lisa Cipher along with us, as well as everyone who's here. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here to celebrate 250 subscriptions. Let me see. I set this up at another YouTube account to get notified, and I did not get my notification. I rang that bell, but I did not get my notification. So I better make sure there's no sound here. Well, no, come on, there we go. Let's see. How do I pull up the chat? Over here. It doesn't say 5 is Neil or 5. Yeah. Even here it doesn't say 9 watching now. There it is. Saw it. 9 watching now out of 256 subscribers. And that's including me that just clicked over on a whole other YouTube channel. So there you go. A lot of fun things going on. Daniel and Andy, that doesn't seem appropriate. That doesn't seem appropriate at all. My initial thought was that I would jump directly into the box because I had another camera set up that I thought was going to work. It worked the other day, but it didn't work now. And so, but it's on a battery situation, and the battery is old and would run out fast. And so my thought was, well, I got to jump in this box right now. So because I'm bad about not being able to change my mind on things, we're going to jump into this box. This comes from Chucky from Kentucky. This is pretty exciting. Now, what he's done, let me see if I can actually stand up here and do this because I got to stand up to get to the box. What he's done is we do know this much, that he's made an Easter egg hunt in amongst all of this colorful grass. Easter just a couple of days ago. Got to get a chair out of my way here. I'm telling you, you don't understand. This space is so small that the smallest change, everything gets upset. So, and some people would say, Steve, you should just use a lav mic. Nope, not doing that. Not a live mic, but a lav mic. So everything can be seen. The whole box is visible. That's good. So we're going to go on an Easter egg hunt. Found one right here. Bunny. So let's pop this bad boy open. Or you know what? I'm going to find the eggs and then we'll pop them open last. How about that? So I don't know how many eggs there are. So I don't know if I should try to pull out the various colors of grass or not. Oh, found another one. 2 more. Found 2 more. A little chickadee. Oh, my little chickadee. And a purple one. So there's that. He has stuff wrapped under here. Chucky from Kentucky does. Oh, look at that guy. Little hat. So we'll sit down and pop those open in a moment. Oh, wow. Tons of these eggs. What is this now? Oh, this is something that fell out of the egg, it looks like. Oh. All right. Yeah, let me get this back in light. That is a muscle man, but he looks to be holding a 2x4. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the form of a muscle, like the old muscle characters. And there seems to be another one down here that appears to have fallen out. Woo! Listen, that guy right there has spent more. I believe that's the Nature Boy. He has spent more on spilt liquor. Okay, so that's that. We know that that's going to be what's in these eggs. So that'll be fun to go through and check these out in a moment. And good times. Thank you, Chucky from Kentucky. Oh, there's another one that fell out here. It's a muscle man hunt too. Oh, speak to me, warriors. That's the Ultimate Warrior. Done it like a muscle guy. That's awesome. Do y'all remember? Y'all remember Muscle? Muscle was these little pink guys. Oh, this one came apart. Oh, well, look at this. It's a squishy. Literally, I think that's what these are called. I have a few of these up on my desk, and that's She-Hulk. We'll get her in the light. We'll get her up close in a minute so you can see more clearly. That egg popped open, so I couldn't do anything about that. And what is this one? Oh, Maggot. That's Sergeant Slaughter of the G.I. Joe team. He wants his country back. Oh my gosh, there's more under here. Good night. And I'm getting this stuff all over the place, so Chucky should appreciate that. Jake the Snake Roberts, right there. Jake the Snake. We'll show you that as we have the opportunity to get to it. Let me see if there's a better way to move this so I can kind of get more over here. There we go. All right. So now I'm bumping into the mic. Nobody likes that noise. There's another bunny. And I think that does it for the eggs. So I think we found all the eggs, and some of them have busted open. So now there's some packages in here. This is embarrassing to open packages in front of people. All right. So it feels like a book. Feels like a book. And it is a book. I'll check it out. That's a Death Trooper there. This is Star Wars Rogue One, the Ultimate Visual Guide. I don't have the Ultimate Visual Guide of Star Wars Rogue One. I should have had a trash bag handy, though. I did not do that. So that's cool. Thanks, Chucky from Kentucky. Check that out. That's nice. Thank you so much, sir. Or ma'am. Don't want to give anyone clues as to what's going on here. This, I think I know what this is, because I think Chucky from Kentucky and I actually spoke about this. Indeed. This is the re-release in that retro wave of the Escape from the Death Star game. And it comes with Governor Tarkin. I should have recognized his foul stench the moment this box got in my house. That is just paraphrasing what Leia had to say about him in return. So those were Christmas gifts from Chucky from Kentucky, who is a great friend, better friend than I. I see some more Easter eggs over here. So that's great. So I'm going to bump the mic while I reach these bad boys. Oh, okay. So that was the Christmas portion, apparently. And this apparently is, this wrapping paper says, happy birthday. What a box. This is a huge box. What is in here? Oh, shut up. I didn't know about this. This is really, really cool. This is the Vintage Collection Bespin Cloud City Carbon Freezing Chamber playset. Now, what's so cool about this is Hasbro really knew what they were doing to rip off their valued customers, because this is half a playset and you buy the other and you can put it both together. But here's what has happened in my life. I think I've got another one of these. So I think, well, and then let me tell you what I can do. This is where watching all these videos of people with their toys and seeing their Instagrams has got me fired up. If you don't think I'm not going to get some LED light somehow and get strapped up under those stairs and have a darn scene, then you don't know me. I will do my best to do that very thing. All right, let's see here. One more box, and it is a brick. Chucky from Kentucky. All this is way too kind, sir. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I wish you would let me tell people who you are so they would know how kind you are. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going to, all right. Now we're going to push all that back down in there. I'm going to put that down in there. And we're going to put that in there. Set that right there. We'll set that right there. We'll set. All right. So I'm going to be dealing with this plastic grass for a while. That has my name on it. It says Steve. So I'm going to sit down and do that. So to recap, really overly kind Vintage Collection Carbon Freezing Chamber playset. The board game, Escape from Death Star, complete with retro style Tarkin and the ultimate visual guide to Rogue One, the best Disney era Star Wars movie. Man, Chucky from Kentucky, thank you so much. And I have some adjusting to do, and so we'll adjust away. Let's see here. I don't know. Oh, wait, I got to turn that on. I'm trying to be real sharp right now, ladies and gentlemen. Get a little bit of that glare off. So there we go. All right. So pull out the old. Can you pull out a pocket knife on the YouTube? I don't know. What are we saying over here real quick? The retro Tarkin is nice. Yeah, it really is a cool one. Galaxy says obviously need better friends. So yeah, it's Easter meets Christmas. It's Eastmas. Yeah. So I met Arn Anderson a few months ago while at dinner. How was that, Fighting Templar? That's a cool meetup. I talked to someone. I'm going to tell this story. I've not I don't follow wrestling like I used to, but I still listen to some wrestling podcasts, and I like to listen to Arn, the Arn Anderson podcast. And I was talking to someone. I live in Rome, Georgia, from whence Arn Anderson hails originally. And I was talking to someone in my church, and I actually used Arn Anderson's real name. And I said, do you know, or did you ever know Marty Lundy? And this dude, he's a deacon in my church. His face went white. He's like, oh, I was scared of him. We used to stay away from East Rome because they'd beat up, him and his buddies would just beat up random kids in the parking lot at Kmart for no reason. So I've always wanted to kind of, when they do the Ask Arn Anything, ask if that's a true story or not. So let's see. What do we got here? This is, oh, I was opening it the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Look at this mess. Super Bubble chewing gum. Now, this takes me back to church softball days. I would go to the concession stand and buy like 10 pieces of this mess and just cram it all in my mouth and get out there and try to be intimidating on the church softball field. I hate church softball now as a pastor, and I hated it as a youth pastor because of what so many churches used. You know, they would just go out and get ringers who didn't really go to church, and I don't know, just crazy, but we won't get into all that. Anyhow, and then there's some more of these. Shaz had already, my good friend Shaz Bazaar, had given me some of these, and so I recognize these as Wonder Bread style Star Wars cards. I'm going to save these for, and that is the crate dragon on the front. So these are it says right there, Mandalorian. I'm going to save these for Back to the Wax Packs, Chucky from Kentucky. And we're going to, so we'll take a look at these then and go through them proper on Back to the Wax Packs, if that doesn't offend Chucky from Kentucky. So if it does, he'll just have to get to me because I don't see him in the chat. And so there you go. That is really, really cool. I forget who makes these. I know it's not Wonder Bread, but it's done in the style of some Wonder Bread cards. The way they do the wax pack is just mind-boggling to me. It's almost like they dip it in wax and then and then send it out. Like they print it out, dip the paper in wax, wrap the cards, and then send it out. It's a very thick wax pack. It's very, very cool. But this is awesome. Thank you so much, Chucky from Kentucky. I really do appreciate it so much. You're way too kind. And Joseph from Rule the Galaxy says he's got to get some new friends. He's got to get better friends. I got to tell you, Joe, you can't have mine because my friends are outstanding. And Chucky from Kentucky is is great. So, yeah, thanks so much. Appreciate that. I don't know on the back of what. So I'll communicate later about that. All right. So people who use their first name and then where they're from are so lame. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. So what about Jimmy in Georgia, who's actually in Missouri, or Roth in Wyoming, or who else does that in our group? Daniel and Indy. So yeah. Okay. I still think that JV and Daniel and Indy are the same person. The humor is just the same. Like it's if it's not, they either need JV and Daniel and Indy either need to be best friends, or they need to or he just needs to fess up that he's one and the same. I have a dog walking in here now. What's the matter, buddy? You okay? You all right? Go lay down. I have to talk to the dog that way so that he will listen to me. Let's we'll have to break into the eggs later because I have a mess in the light box right now. So and I want to put these in the light box as we get them open. So we'll hold off on those too until later. I do want to talk about this. This is She-Hulk, and it's called, I think they're called Squishies. I was given some for Christmas a few years back by my wife, and she bought this one because it had the Hulk. They come in like 3-packs, and so I've got the Hulk and a couple of others up here. I don't see them right now, but everyone knows my love for the Hulk, knows no bounds. So always glad to have people in the Hulk family show up because I love She-Hulk. I love She-Hulk as she was written in the 90s and early 2000s. Confident, fun, funny, breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool ever thought about breaking the fourth wall is what She-Hulk did. She was breaking the fourth wall before Deadpool was a thing. Let me see here. Where do we want to go? Oh, Hasbro Pulse had their Fan Fest today, and so they walked through several of their lines. I don't know, did they put out any Transformers news? Did anyone keep up with that? I came in during the G.I. Joe talk, and they were talking about the Snake Eyes movie and the stuff from Snake Eyes, and so they apparently talked about some of their classified lines with G.I. Joe. And then they had the guy who's playing Snake Eyes. And I didn't realize there was someone different playing. I thought it was going to be Ray Park. But it's an origin film. So, there you go. Also, I found something I was looking for last night. And when we were doing the prep time. And maybe I'll try to pull that up again. But anyhow, so apparently they had some Power Rangers news and some but I don't know if they did Transformers news or not. So if someone saw that and wants to share, let me know here in the chat. Let's see. I have to do accounts with Steve Make Shazamon. Oh, how do you make people mods? I don't know how to do that. So Ushi is what they're called. Thank you. Ushis is what they're called, Stephanie. I go back to the George Lucas. He used to call the Galaxy of Heroes and Squishies or Squishy. Kids have so many. Yeah, I like them. They're pretty cool. So what's going on here? Man from Atlantis. All right, let's see what's going on here. I used my wrong account to write that. Okay, so he has confessed that JV is Daniel and Indy. So there you go. All right. So let's see. Hasbro Fan Pulse Fest. So they did the Marvel Legends stuff right after the G.I. Joe. So I stuck around and watched the Marvel Legends. There wasn't a lot really exciting to me coming out of the Marvel Legends situation. They did have this wave. They're calling it the Iron Man wave, and you can see Iron Man and he's done up like up there in the top left corner, right. Right there. Figured it out. Top left corner, that's Iron Man. And he's done like the Iron Man, they call it the modular armor from the 90s. It looks very similar to what was released on the retro card, and on the first wave of the retro cards 2 years ago. And the difference is it doesn't have like the shoulder pads and stuff. It doesn't look all the one on the retro card looked very much like the animated version of Iron Man from the 90s. This looks more like the comic book version of the 90s. The green guy next to him is a vault guard. The vault was where they housed all the super criminals. It was a super criminal prison. And during Acts of Vengeance, one of the greatest concepts for a comic book situation ever, the Acts of Vengeance, during the Acts of Vengeance, the vault was heavily a part of that. Then there's the stealth Iron Man armor, which, everyone, look, they've been doing stealth Iron Man armor since the first or second wave of Marvel Legends and the Toy Biz line. The fourth one there across the top is hologram Iron Man, like he's communicating via hologram. He's translucent, but it's really cool. It's very Tron-esque, almost reverse Tron-esque, because he's all blue and translucent, but he's got white painted trim in places. So he looks really cool. Honestly, I feel like I've got the Iron Man that I want as an Iron Man. There is another Iron Man coming out that's the same mold as the one I'm going to show you later, just with a different paint scheme that I kind of dig on, that I think I'm going to maybe pick up. But I've got the Iron Man that I want, basically. If I'd missed that out on that one, I've still kind of got, it's where I've gotten the Iron Man that I want. I don't need another Iron Man. What I am excited about is over here on the bottom portion right there. Is really excited about Ultron. This is a classic Ultron. He is he's not a movie version. They did do a movie version, but they did not do. They've never really done a good classic Ultron. There he is, a little bit better for you. They've got a Kirby Crackle accessory that can stick in his mouth. Kirby Crackle is to see it in 3D, it looks kind of weird. It looks like he's on fire. But what the Kirby Crackle was in the comics was when Jack Kirby would draw to show any type of energy or power emanating from something, he would do like the wavy lines and kind of an image, and then would draw, would fill in with spots. And they called it the Kirby Crackle because you could almost feel, when you looked at the old Jack Kirby art, you could almost feel, let me see if I can pull up a picture of the Kirby Crackle. You could just feel the crackle of the energy, like you really could. It absolutely was one of these things. So let's see here. This is a good, let's see. Do we have anything? I'm looking at some images now to kind of see if I may be able to pull up a really good version of the Kirby Crackle. Here, this is the Silver Surfer kind of going through space. Let me see if this is a big enough image to pull up here. No, that's not a really good image. But a lot of times it would do, he would use space. He would use it when people were emanating energy. There'd be explosions and that sort of thing. And it was just, like I say, you could just feel the power. You feel the power. Let's do this. View this image. This is someone's rendition of the Kirby Crackle, but it should give you an idea of kind of what I'm saying here. So let's see. Plug that up and there you go. Kirby Crackle, ladies and gentlemen. Took me long enough. This is what you get when you come to the Steve Glosson live streams. It's not enough for me just to talk about something. I have to show you. If I'm going to be on video, look, Scott Rifen, if Scott Rifen taught me nothing else, he taught me You got to show, don't just tell. You got to show, don't just tell. I mean, that's a rule of filmmaking and a rule of television all over the place. You show, you don't just tell, you show. And so that's what I'm trying to do for you today, is just show you as much as I tell. Let me get him out of my face, because you want to see the magic here. I get it. I understand. So that I am kind of stoked about the Ultron situation there. I don't really know that there was anything else that they announced on the Marvel Legends side that really fires me up. I'll pull that. Let me see if I can pull that wave back up for you real quick and kind of go back over the rest of them. Across the bottom, there's Riri Williams across the bottom there, and Ironheart. And then there is, I believe her name is Darkstar. She's with the Russian team that would fight Iron Man. And then the Build-A-Figure is Ursa Major, who is basically a bear man, a man bear. So, it is Bug Steve, much love, sir. That's, I think you meant Big Steve AM, but yeah, people like to bug me when I'm doing this too. We call it derailing. So she teamed up with like Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man. And anyhow, and Ursa Major was the big Build-A-Figure that they're doing for that wave. Now this is where my conundrum comes in. I honestly don't care about Ursa Major as a character. I just think the idea, it's just like with Frogman that I showed last night on our live stream last night. I'm not a Frogman fan. I'm not going to claim to be a fan of Frogman. But I'll tell you this, when it comes to, just a giant bear man, who doesn't? I mean, look at that thing. He's got all kinds of articulation to him, those huge claws. The torso part of him comes with like a couple of pieces, so you can kind of build up those traps and everything. And it's just really kind of neat. I just think it's a really cool kind of thing. So now I'm like, do I really want this character? And probably I'll pass. And then see, look at that. There's like 3. Usually when someone comes with a torso, you just get what you see up there by her shoulder. But here he's got like extra pieces going his torso to kind of help hide the neck and head situation. So, it's one of those things where, I'm okay with, look, to each his own. And I'm at a place where I don't have to collect all of the Marvel Legends, the villains wave that they put out. I'm kind of interested in that Ximenu Build-A-Figure. Ximenu, in his first appearance, actually showed up in was it Tales to, I'm going to pull it up because I actually pulled it up to read when I saw it. Let's see, my books. Journey into Mystery, number 62. And he's called the Hulk in this. And I believe this is before the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, was published, but this is a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby joint, I believe. Let me make sure that I'm right there on that. Kirby and Ayers did the art, and it's definitely like the main character actually looks like the same make and model of Bruce Banner as portrayed, as drawn by Jack Kirby back in the day. And so it just makes you wonder, did they go ahead and do this? Anyhow, this Ximenu character that is the Build-A-Figure for the villains, he was recently in the Immortal Hulk, and he basically shows up and he hypnotizes the whole world to remember him as the Hulk. And like there are toys made of him and everything. And he whoops, sorry about that. And he just makes out like he was the original Hulk, and everyone forgets who the Hulk actually was. And even the Hulk forgets the Hulk was the Hulk. So, it was just, and then when I realized that this was a character who was actually in Journey into Mystery, and he was called the Hulk before the Hulk was the Hulk, then I just think that's a really cool find and throwback for them. Now, he was an orange character. He looked like kind of like the big orange thing from Bugs Bunny in the Journey of the Mystery comic, but he was white and had these metal parts to him in the recent Immortal Hulk. This is the villains line that we were talking about with the Build-A-Figure. You've got Dr. Doom from the most recent Secret Wars crossover, Dormammu, a comic version of Dormammu, the Hood, or the Red, I think he's just called the Hood. Very basic character with the exception of that hood on him. And so you would have thought, I don't really know a lot about him. He's kind of a street level mystical meets gang boss kind of guy. And you would have thought that if it literally is, if you take the hood off of him, and it is removable, he looks like a dude in street clothes with a mean face. And so you could put just about any head on him and have, like, you know, Cyclops in street garb, basically, or Professor X in street garb. You could do Tony Stark, you know, in casual wear kind of thing. But anyhow, you would think they'd done a soft goods that would have been more moldable and kind of, you know, posable and everything, but instead it's just a big rubber. So it just doesn't really excite me. Lady Deathstrike excites a lot of fans. She's the top right character there. She excites a lot of fans. Comic version of her. And then the Scientist Supreme is pretty cool, especially considering they've got this deluxe MODOK that's coming. It's actually, I think, starting to hit some places now. Some of the pre-orders now, and at Hasbro's website you can actually order AIM soldiers. So to have the Supreme Scientist, the AIM Supreme Scientist, a couple of soldiers, and MODOK would be kind of cool. Arcade is next, and again, I don't have anything against Arcade, but what makes Arcade a great villain is all the stuff that he does and puts the heroes into, as far as the trouble that he gets them into. And so do they sell Pasanki? Pasanki. I wonder if I could play that ad without getting a copyright strike, because there's some Blues Traveler behind it. Probably not. Probably get the old copyright strike on that, which honestly just means I can't monetize the video. But I can't monetize the video anyway. I don't have enough subscribers to do so, or enough hours. I haven't met the requirements to monetize videos. So, you know, maybe I should just go ahead and do it. Or maybe they won't even catch me if I do it, you know. For those, because there are going to be people who don't know about Pasanki. And I shall tell the story now. This is what we call derailing Glosson. That is exactly what has happened. We have derailed Steve in the chat. There are a couple of things, as I'm looking for this, I want to tell you about. One is that I'm wearing sunglasses, and I know it's lame, and I do it because of that. Everything that you see right now is absolutely on purpose. It's not accidental. It's not, hey, I think this will be cool. It's that I know that it's someone trying to be sharp, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Also, to cover my big fat face as much as possible. Let's see. Pasanki. What was the name? I mean, like, it was a staple. So the Pasanki, apparently a Pasanki is a steady crafting kind of thing that people do. And one night, when we were doing the Big Honkin' Show, late night version of the Big Honkin' Show, the word Pasanki came across the desk, and I was like, what is Pasanki? And I started saying it all these different ways. Well, Daniel and Indy was making, was doing all kinds. He was making weird, like, Daniel had a lot of time on his hands to be a father of 10, and which I think is how many children he has. And he would sit around and take things that I said and either take them out of context and make make commercials with them, or or he would well, no, that's what he'd do. He'd take things out of context, like this one. There was a video I was watching where a kid got hit by a car, but he was okay. So we watched, but it was just absolutely ridiculous the way this car hit. And like, I couldn't help but just yell in shock and awe at what I was seeing. Well, at the time, our good friends over at Rebel Force Radio were being sponsored by Little Debbie. And so that inspired Daniel and Indy to make this particular commercial.
Why, hello. We here at Little Debbie's We're just wanting to let you know that we've been working on some new delicious snacks. Just listen as a customer tries our new pecan spin rolls, made right here.
Oh, Lord, have mercy on me. Oh, I mean, I don't,
Pecan.
I can't,
The moist texture.
the
sweet taste.
Look, oh my. Oh, gee whiz. Holy cow. Why would you, gee whiz.
And a little bit of magic is what makes you love Little Debbie's.
Oh, Lord, have mercy on me. Oh, gee whiz. So it's uncomfortable what he did. So the Pasenki commercial was one where, like I said, I saw the word, I didn't know what it is, and I still can't describe it to you to this day. What Pasenki is. I was told what it was, but that doesn't mean that I know what it was. And so this is what we got from him.
It's that time of year again, and you might be wondering where to go in the Hazelhurst area for your home supplies. Well, we asked a few of your...
Now, he used Hazelhurst because that's where I was at the time, doing the shows from and living and everything. And thank God, it can't be said that I'm there anymore. So proceed.
Neighbors. Sir, where do you go?
Pasenki?
Well, hey there, folks. It looks like you're planning to remodel your toilet to make it handy capable. Where did you go?
Pasenki.
Hey, sir. I notice you have a lot of plastic knives and duct tape. Where'd you go to get those?
Pasenki.
I can't help but notice you're looking for a new hammock, sir. Can I ask why?
My hammock's been tainted by a bear.
Okay. Is there anything I can help you with, sir?
Get off my lawn.
Pasenki, for all your home improvement ideals.
He says, Daniel Landy says, honestly, just listening to this now, the detail and the side jokes are a little stalkery. Yeah, Daniel, it was a little stalkery, but it's fine. So Steve, I would have cut me off. I was having too much fun. It was awesome. There was a lot of great things that came out of that run of the Big Honkin' Show. Anyhow, back to the Marvel Legends supervillain wave over here. As we look at things. Oh, I know why he's getting antsy. There are people popping off fireworks in the neighborhood. So Arcade, the thing that makes Arcade so cool is not his look, because he really doesn't have a great look for an action figure. It's the traps that he puts people in and the way he sets things up. But then we've got a classic comic Red Skull that's going to be in this wave. And so honestly, as I look at this, I'm like, that's the one I want. I want the Red Skull or Jordan Peterson, depending on if you're Ta-Nehisi Coates or not. Which, by the way, that's who's writing Superman for all y'all. The movie, the new movie. So just, prepare your hearts for that. The Dr. Doom is actually uncomfortable because truly, when you look at him, though he is armored up, as he's Doom, the fact that he doesn't have that tunic that goes up, he's like a shirtless Doom. And that's just a little uncomfortable to me. He comes with like a spine and a skull, and I don't remember who that's supposed to be. Maybe Reed Richards, but I don't think so. The whole thing about Secret Wars, the new, oh no. What's going on over here? Oh no. Okay. Did this die? I think my mouse died. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me tell you what just happened. I was moving my mouse and nothing happened. And I thought, oh, goodness, everything's dead. The thing about this Secret War, the last Secret Wars that there was, it was like all of the universes were destroyed. And somehow Reed Richards and a few others kind of escaped that. Dr. Doom stole the power, I guess, of the Beyonder to recreate a world that was called Battle World. And on this particular world, there were different sectors that he pulled from all these different realities, and he was basically God. I don't remember whose skull and spine that he's got. Anyhow, this is the Dormammu. I've come to negotiate. That's him. look, he's a cool looking character. He looks comic accurate and everything. I just don't have a lot of relationship with that character. But, he's one that if you twist my arm, I might be able to pick up. Look at this, though. Look at this guy. This is the Hood. Or Bob on Halloween. I could not make a toy to save my life. I need us all to understand that. I could not make a toy. But I don't like the idea, like Hulk, I understand having a screamy head, screamy face, but the other guys, I just don't get. Look at this. Look at this dude without his thing. He's just some dude right there yelling at somebody. Hey, wear a mask, for crying out loud. That's really what's going on there. Here's the Lady Deathstrike for all the X-Men fans out there. And again, she's just a character. She looks very comic accurate. She's just a character that I have no real relationship with. And so, it doesn't really fire me up. But the whole idea of Xemnu kind of does. And so, look at this old scientist supreme. Look at that. He's basically got him a clipboard, what amounts to a high-tech clipboard and armor, and beekeeper armor is pretty much what it is. And so, yeah. But this Red Skull, look, and here's Arcade has two heads, apparently. Look at this. You got short hair, or you've got Jesse Eisenberg from Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Short hair, Jesse Eisenberg from Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. This could be a Lex Luthor figure for you if you wanted to, or Lex Luthor head at the very least. So this is what he has. That's him. He comes with a stab, but now this is the Red Skull, and he looks like he stepped off classic comic book pages. He's got a Hydra gun there. You can see Hydra logo on the gun. He comes with a little cosmic cube, which is just really cool. He's got that green jumpsuit and everything going on. I just look at the big smile. I really dig the Red Skull. Several sets of hands he comes with, and we've seen the Xemnu. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I really dig the Red Skull they're doing, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. Looks like Inhumanoids. Yeah, you know what? Xemnu does kind of look like Inhumanoids. Back in the day, it looks like it does. Hydra gun. No, not a water gun, Mark All. So let's see what else we got. Just checking the chat real quick before we move forward. So yeah, so Hasbro, that was some news they put out today. But does anyone know, like I said, does anyone know if they did any Transformers news? I saw some things. They also announced a fat armored Thor from Endgame. Let me just pull this up here and we'll show you. This is when he gets battle ready. And so there he is. If you hear some click clacking around, it's just the dog. I like he's got a little pooch. And yeah, so pretty cool stuff there with that Thor. I just got through at a wing eating competition and I am Thor. So, all right, let me see. There was something else, because just talking toys right now, it's got me fired up a little bit. Well, no, and since I can show and not tell, let's see what they found out, what we got from Transformers today. Deluxe Wave 3 set of 4 figures. Ooh, now this is something that's been going on. I don't know if you guys have watched the Transformers deal on Netflix. It's pretty cool, I guess. I've enjoyed it for what it is, and it looks like they're about to jive with Beast Wars as well as the classic Transformers. So who's coming here? Scorponok, Trax, which is cool. Wingfinger, I don't know who that is, and Wheeljack is in this wave. I don't know if they announced this today. It's under the news that they announced. So this is Scorponok, Beast Wars Scorponok. They're calling it Transformers Kingdom, I think. And this is, he's got a little fly in there. That's creepy. I don't know much about Beast Wars. I caught the last little bit of it. I'm sorry I'm going so fast. I guess I could transition over to me while I'm doing this, because Lord knows. I guess this is that flight finger guy. What is this dude? What's his story? Anybody know this guy's story? Got any? Whoops, sorry. Got any Transformers fans in the house? I should have. All right, let's see. There's a $700 Optimus Prime that transforms itself. I saw a video in that. You can't even get confused. What's the fun in that? Says Shaz. You can't even get confused by trying to transform him. Yeah. I think I saw something about it. Was it an Optimus Prime or was it just a random robot that transforms? So they use real alien tech. That's why it's so expensive. I got you. Real Cybertronian tech. I hear you. All right. So let's see. I don't know this guy at all. Does anyone know this bone looking guy? Oh my gosh. He becomes weapons for Wheeljack. Look at that. That is crazy. Let me see if I can. Look at that. That is awesome. It's like a Dinobot, but it's a fossil. It's like Swoop, but it's a fossil. Where did you dig up that old fossil? So that's him. Okay. There's Trax. Trax. I'm Trax, and I am a car that can actually fly when I transform into my alt mode. Alt mode is like the car mode, right? I have wings and I can fly. Look at my red face. That's how he talked in the cartoon. Oh, I'm Trax. I had a Trax. I had a Gene 1 Trax back in the day. He also came with like a missile launcher thing you could put on his back. Just like that there. Look at that. See? Look, see? I'm a flying car over some lava. Flying over lava. That's what I do. I have the high ground. Don't even try it, Anakin. I have the high ground. And old Wheeljack. I thought there was recently a Wheeljack already that I saw at Walmart the other day. Anyway, so let's see. That's what they've got going on. Anything else cool? The Studio 86 stuff they've done with the movie is really, really cool. Oh, they've got an Autobot Arc. $159. So this is one of the big bad boys. Let me pull that up all the way. And I guess it transforms. I did see some pictures of this. Yeah, it transforms. But the Ark is not a robot. The Ark is a ship that the Transformers fly. Look, he's got him a little information disc and everything. Oh, look, he's crashed into the thing. That's funny. That's fun. That's fun. Just like Gene 1 Transformers. Oh, look at there. There's a little robot coming out of there. Well, you can't see that where you're at. Hold on just a second. Let me pull that up for you. Look at that little guy down there at the bottom. Whoopsie. Whoopty. Toasty. Teletran 1. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I guess. Napoleon, you're just jealous because I've been chatting with hot babes all day. So yeah, that's some cool Transformer stuff, I guess. But then I saw something else that kind of caught my attention when it came to the Transformer stuff that I haven't seen. So I don't know if this was announced today or not. It is Rodimus Prime, apparently. Look at that. Got him the Matrix and everything. But this isn't a studio series Rodimus. This is like the War for Cybertron. Okay, it's great that you have your chest. Rodimus Prime doesn't walk around with his chest open. Come on, there you go. All right, Rodimus Prime was a Transformer I had back in the day. I never had an Optimus Prime, but I had Rodimus. And so, oh, wow, he looks like Rodimus. I don't even know what kind of vehicle that's supposed to be, like a truck with like a camper cover on it or some such. I don't know. But the front would always pop out, and I would use that as kind of like a vehicle, just like, unhooking Optimus from his trailer. Oh, wow, he comes out looking like Hot Rod. Now, that's not what Rodimus of old looked like. Rodimus of old looked like a kind of like a futuristic El Camino. That's really cool. Oh, look at that. Okay. I see the double-barreled guns on top. That was the thing, is he popped out some guns in his deal. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's the shot. I'm a little excited about Rodimus, but he's pretty expensive. $80 for this guy, huh? Wow. I don't know. That's going to be, it's a little bit out of my price range, but it is what it is. So, let's see. Anything else going on in the chat? Am I boring everyone yet? My oldest is coming in to see this. Huh. I left Mark All's comment up too long, didn't I? When does Mortal Kombat come out? I don't know. Is there another Mortal Kombat come out? G.I. Joe, they did announce today that the G.I. Joe movie is coming out on July 23rd, and it's going to be released only, and they said only in theaters. So that's pretty cool, I guess. You know, if you like G.I. Joe. So, yeah. This is what we're about to get into over here. I just pulled some random things out to talk about, and you can see it's basically a toy box there in the light box. So, did I not see the trailer for Mortal Kombat? No, I didn't see the trailer for Mortal Kombat. It's coming on HBO Max. Let me tell you what we got to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Now, look, if you want to, speaking of HBO Max, if you want to talk about something worth talking about when it comes to HBO Max, then I tell you what, boom, right there, Godzilla versus Kong. Y'all, let's do Geek Out Loud. How about that? Let's talk Geek Out Loud stuff right now when it comes to Godzilla versus Kong. I was not the biggest fan of the first Godzilla movie. I felt like there were too many teases. Like, all right, they're about to, he's like, let them fight. And then, but don't let them see them fight is really what was said. It's like that was kind of the tagline that should have been on that line. Let them fight, but don't let people see them fight. That's really what it should have been. That's the full line. In fact, it may have been that, and they just edited that second part out. Because every time Godzilla would start to fight with those things, they would cut away or a door would shut. And it was just kind of like, what, really? What's going on here? And it really comes down to the filmmaker had done this movie Monster or something like that, Monsters, and had the whole film had kind of kept the big monster hidden until the end and then, you know, revealed. And I think he was trying to kind of use the same trick, but it just didn't work. You know, it was like, I go to a Godzilla movie to see Godzilla, and we just didn't get to see him that much. And Kong Skull Island was good, and I recently rewatched it, and I really do enjoy it. John C. Reilly is great in that movie. When he's like, they're the Skull Eaters, and they're like, really? Was that? Look, it's just something that sounded cool. All right. It sounded like it was a really cool name. And I thought, fine, we'll call him something else. No, that's fine. You know, and like, you really like invest in that dude, because when he gets home and his wife has waited for him all those years, you know, and then you get to see him sitting down to watch his Cubs game in the credits. It's really cool. Samuel L. Jackson doing his best rendition of his character he played in Deep Blue Sea. You know, Kong is not the bad guy. He's the misunderstood, you know, apex predator of the island. And, you know, he's an important part of the balance of things that go on there. And of course, man comes in and history shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man. But that's not Godzilla. That's not King Kong. That's Godzilla. So, you know, it's like, well, you know, they're like, Kong's really young. And so, okay, so he's going to stick around for 40 or 50 years and still be around to fight Godzilla. What was really awesome, though, is I'm going to tell you what was just a good Godzilla movie for the modern day was Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was. If you've look, the thing is, what they do in that movie is they pull a little Batman v Superman. They open up with kind of the end of Godzilla, and you get to see it from a different viewpoint, and you see the family. Look, spoiler alert for a movie that's several years old. The point is this: 11 is really tuned into these big monsters with her mom, and they've got this machine that basically sends out an acoustic sound that fools these other titans into thinking that it's the apex, you know, that it's the apex predator, it's the alpha, if you will. And that's the word I've been looking for. Well, the bad guys, of course, are going to take it. They're eco terrorists. They're going to take it like, we need to give the world back to nature, and so they, like all the bad guys always do, take it a step too far, and they wake up old Monster Zero, also known as King Ghidorah. So, and the thing is, what's so great is in King of the Monsters, they figured it out. The people are just there to give you the exposition that the monsters can't give, because we've seen monsters talk to one another in the older Godzilla movies, and quite frankly, it doesn't work. But when the people are just exposition givers and the monsters get to really just show out and fight, that's some good stuff. And so there are monsters in there. I don't know who they are. There's like a big woolly mammoth monster. There's Rodan. There's I don't know they could do Gamera, but it's something like him. There is that spiky roly thing. There is, anyone knows some names? Anyone knows some names? Anyone knows some names? I just look, Ted Adam Green, King of the Monsters was the best Godzilla movie ever when it came out. And that's the thing. Mothra was in that mess. Of course, Mothra shows up to help fight and even raises Godzilla when he gets, a little weak. Look, and then they have to blow up. They brought in the oxygen destroyer from the original Godzilla, and like, where it's to kill everything within a 2-mile radius. You need to get out of there. And of course, it doesn't kill King Ghidorah, and it does kill Godzilla, kind of. Godzilla goes back into the Hollow Earth area to go to recharge, but it's going to take him years, they say. Take him years. Now, the oxygen destroyer actually killed Godzilla in the original Godzilla movie, Gojira. And anyhow, it's just a great moment when Godzilla comes back. Like, it's super. It does everything right. Because here's the thing with these things. You know what? I was flipping through some stuff. I rewatched King of the Monsters last night, and so for the fun of it, and then I got to flipping through some things, and like, you go back to even the original King Kong. That movie is all about spectacle, Like, no one was in that movie to be like, I'm going to win all the awards. You see, it's just like, can we do this? Can we make a movie about a giant ape? What do we have to do? Well, we have to do it all in miniature, but maybe we can make a super big hand, and we can superimpose his face over this, and it'll look like he's looking and it's just like they movie magic. And it's all about what kind of spectacle can we use the tools at our disposal to give. And somewhere along the way, obviously cinema and film can be a powerful thing. The power of story can be good. Any other I wouldn't say I'm a Pacific Rim fan, but I loved the first Pacific Rim movie and haven't watched anything else since. But Pacific Rim was one of those. I went in, I was expecting them to get into all this junk about the brothers and how, I'm like, oh, it's just they're gonna hit me over the head with all the people, and I want to see robots fighting monsters. And they knew what they were going to do. Yes, film can be powerful. Cinema can be powerful. Movies can be powerful agents of storytelling and morality, tales and that sort of thing. But I honestly think movies are best when they're spectacle. All of the complaints about, the superhero movies, like, well, it's just big action shots and CGI and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it is mega, blah, blah. I don't care. That's what I want. That's all I want, And if you get something like the original Star Wars movies were, where you can actually sit down and discuss deeper themes and everything, that just ends up being gravy. That just ends up being something pretty special. But I got to tell you something. When it comes to my giant monster movies, I don't want, necessarily to be preached at about environmental issues. Obviously you're going to get some of that when you get into some of these big monster movies. I don't want or need to hear some message on anything, about what we're doing to the earth and what this all represents. When it comes right down to it, when I have a giant monster movie, all I need is The air that I breathe and to love you. I just need monsters fighting monsters. I need monsters destroying things. And that's what we got in King of the Monsters. And I'm sorry, it doesn't get any better than at the end of that movie, the ground kind of starts shaking and everything, and you see Ghidorah's head come up out of the rubble, and you're like, I thought this movie was over. Are they still going at it? And then you come up and you realize he's in Godzilla, like the neck, from the neck up is in Godzilla's mouth. And Godzilla, I'm like, yes, get him, Godzilla. And then here comes Godzilla versus Kong. Did you see the original Godzilla versus King Kong? King Kong takes a tree and shoves it down Godzilla's throat in the original. It is a wondrous thing to behold, their fight. In fact, Patreon people, that's what I should do for Patreon, is I should do a commentary on that and call just that section. Like, here we are at this marker when they come together to fight for the first time. I mean, there are all kinds of great moves that go on in there. Everything from a monkey roll into a kick and the sweeping around with a tail and all this other stuff. Well, anyhow, look, this movie, if you're looking for good character development and well-rounded individuals as characters, you need to go find something else to watch, because this is not for you. And if that's what you're looking for in a Godzilla versus King Kong movie, I don't think you need to watch a Godzilla versus King Kong movie. I just think that you have chosen the wrong movie to watch. But this movie, and I even said it, my wife came through, she's like, well, how are they going to fight? She's like, oh, is this your King Kong movie? Anytime I'm watching something that she doesn't think I like, does anyone else's wife do this? Comment on it in the chat right now. Great story, Steve. What are you talking about? Great story. It's a good story. Amazing CG. I agree. Movies aren't my church or school. They're my escapism. You're right, Ted Adam Green. Great lore. Yeah, I'll take the great lore. Where's the CG for the DC movies? It's all over. What are you talking about? They're CG spectacles themselves. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Godzilla versus Kong right now. Does anyone else wife do this? If you're watching something that she doesn't think that she'll like, she'll come in and be like, oh, is this your such and such show? And she'll reduce it to like one little word. Oh, is this your King Kong movie? Well, number one, it's not mine. I didn't do it. Number two, I don't, I didn't make it. Number three, it's not just a King Kong movie. It's King Kong and Godzilla, and they're about to square off, lady. So go back to doing what you're going to do. Don't tell her I said that. So I do that. I do that to my wife. Am I the woman? Yes, Daniel Lindy, you're the woman in that scenario. I will. Now listen, I'll admit, I'll play it back over the net with some of the stuff my wife watches, in her own time and everything. I'll be like, oh, is this your Hallmark movie? That kind of thing. So anyway, look, and she said she did show a tiny bit of interest. She's like, well, who's going to win? And I looked at her and I said, honestly, I don't think either one of them will win. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to have to come together and fight a greater threat, just like Batman v Superman, which we had recently watched, and she kind of dug, and she's like, oh, so they're going to make another monster. Someone's going to make another monster. And that's when it hit me. I knew nothing about this movie going in other than King Kong versus Godzilla. And that's when it hit me. Are you ready for spoiler alert? I should have made something that says spoiler alert and just flash, 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 flash. What does Naomi say? My husband thinks monster movies are goofy. I geeked out all over all the battles. Yes, indeed, you geeked out over all the battles. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I wish I had a flashy thing to flash up and say that right now. I looked at her and I said, yes, someone will make another monster for them to fight. And it'll probably be Mechagodzilla. And she looked at me and she tilted her head and she's like, what does that even mean? Like, she's like, you are now speaking a foreign language. So she leaves and does other things. Well, sure enough, as the movie progresses on, and those kids go, the kid from Deadpool 2 and 11 and the other guy, the janitor guy who has the podcast, Steve, we'll just call him Steve. When they show up, and sure enough, there's Mechagodzilla. I'm like, I was kidding. Like, sincerely, I said out loud, I was kidding. I can't believe they're doing this. And I got really stoked. I'm like, it's Mechagodzilla, which she kept calling Robot Godzilla. And I'm like, that's not right. It's not Robot Godzilla. It's Mechagodzilla. And it was awesome. And sure enough, they had to come together to fight. And I loved the whole journey down into the center of the earth and everything. And I loved the axe and all. And it was just really, really good stuff. Could someone let Stephanie know that I'm going to stop talking in spoilers now? I loved it. I just absolutely thought that it was everything it needs to be. I wish I could find the exchange with someone that I sent them. Was it Shazbazzar? Was it the Serialist I sent this to? About just the absolute ridiculousness of this movie and how it's everything that it's supposed to be. And there's so much thing. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in this. Look, if you have friends and you don't have a text thread with friends going, that will just kind of get going every now and again. I actually have to silence this thread when it starts going sometimes, because I'll be in the middle of doing something and I'll look down and there'll be like 40 messages. And it's between myself and Shazbazzar and Scott Rifen. Well, look, you guys have so much to say. And so, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just Scott that I said it to. Anyhow, basically, here it is in all the non-spoilerness I can give you. Kilted Panda. Hello, Kilted Panda. That's a fun name. Did no one let Stephanie know that the spoiler's over? There it is. It's over, Stephanie. Basically, I said to him, I said, look, don't expect, Shakespeare. Don't expect, to like any of these characters or anything. The humans are just there as exposition. The fights are just absolute ridiculousness in the best way possible. It's over the top CGI. It's absolutely ridiculousness, and it's glorious because of it. I enjoyed this movie so much, and the only way it could have been better if I would have actually gone to the theater and seen it rather than sit at home and watch it. And I probably should have used this weekend to go to the theater and see it. Just immersed into big sounds and the loudness and everything. I mean, it's just so much fun. It's absolutely so much fun. And it fulfilled the promise of everything it's supposed to do. I want more. I want more of all of it. I want to see, some of the monsters come back. I want to see, the same silliness of like, why are Mothra and Godzilla friends in this movie, but they're enemies in the other movie? All out monsters attack. I don't know what else we could do now that we've seen Kong versus Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. But whatever they choose, I'm there. They know what they're doing now. Yes, it felt like WrestleMania back in the 80s. Indeed, it did. It truly, truly, truly did. It was over the top spectacle for just joy. It was just monster joy is what it was. And I absolutely am so glad that I got to watch it. So anyhow, that's a good little segment. Let's play with some toys. Let's do that. How about that? I don't want people to get tired of me playing with the toys and everything, but there's a couple of things that I wanted to kind of do and show off. As you can see, there's a big old pile of them. Last night we kind of looked at this one. This is the Build-A-Figure Thanos from I don't know what wave this was, but this actually got found in a yard sale pile by my wife a while back, and she picked it up along with a couple of other figures. He's not super huge to write home about, but but he's not bad. It's not a bad figure. It's a pretty good likeness of Josh Brolin's Thanos, and I left him out here because there's this guy. Well, let's see if I can move around here. Oh, there he goes. There's this guy here. That's Captain America. Hey, Cap. I'm about to pull you front and center in a minute. Oh, this is something I didn't show last night. In those 90s cards that I got, there was a Carnage, and I didn't pull him out and show him last night. I should have, because he has his face as Cletus Cassidy, the guy who is Carnage, but he also has the head, the Carnage head that comes with him. But the Carnage head is old school, like mask kind of thing, where you put it over the head and it's all rubbery and squishy and everything. It's really, really cool. And he has a couple of things that hook to his hands. Anyhow, this is like a pin of some sort, a clip-on thing that came with him. I don't understand this. I had a Venom. That is one figure that I did get back in the day. In that Spider-Man line was the Venom, and he came with like a little pin like that. So here is a classic Thanos. This is a comic accurate, like from around the time of Infinity War Thanos, and you can see that he's falling backwards. I got too much stuff piled in here. Let me pull this out here like this, and give me just a second, everyone. I'm sorry to be making noises with the microphone. You can see, obviously, the differences between these characters. He's got that pronounced, it's too dark to come out and do like that. He's got that pronounced chin, that is so popular from the movie and everything. And then, sorry about that. But he's a lot more colorful, a lot brighter colors and everything. And he's all smiles. And he's really, really, really cool. Now, the thing about this guy is he's got a little bit more going for him in terms of articulate. Well, not really. He's got the same ab crunch. He came with a few extra hands. Like, he's actually got a hand that is in the snapping pose like that. So he's actually got, this is just kind of the holding out hand, like I'm coming to get you hand that I've got on him right now. Let me move this guy out of the way completely here. And bring him back in here. And the thing is, he's got some good balance. And just looks really good. Now, there is another version of Thanos. It's a little more modern. This is there he goes again. It's because of the box. It's not because of his balance. There is a Thanos that is a little more modern, so it has a little more decor on the outfit and everything. A little more deco situation going on there. But I like him. He's big. He's chunky. He is the Mad Titan. The only thing he's missing, and this is the thing that I feel like Marvel, or that Hasbro, I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it with this figure, because he was sold as a deluxe figure. I'm surprised he didn't come with his chair, because Thanos is known not only by his desire to wipe out half the universe, but he's also known by his chair. Let me see if I can find Thanos Silver Surfer comic cover. I can't remember which issue it was, or I would just put in that issue. There it is. That's exactly the one I was thinking about. This is a comic that I was actually introduced to Thanos in, that I'm about to pull up. Now, Thanos had been around for a while, but I was I wasn't new to comics, but like I didn't come into comics, until years later. And so this is Thanos. You can't see it where it says Thanos at the bottom. It says Thanos' Guide to the Galaxy. This is Silver Surfer number 35. It was back when comics were $1.25 in Canada. And like Thanos is just in this chair that's hovering around, and like almost like a Mobius chair kind of situation that's going on there, as you can see. And he's going around with Silver Surfer to different places, telling Silver Surfer about his desire to wipe out half the population. Well, of course, Silver Surfer's like, your man. This leads this story arc with him and Thanos kind of leads almost directly into the Infinity Gauntlet scenario. It wasn't long after this that Infinity Gauntlet would drop. And so yeah, good times with that. But that's the only thing I could have I think that they might have actually packed in with this guy was is his chair, because his chair is pretty, that's hippie. That hippie surfer, exactly. Hey, good to see Rich in the chat. Rich had had a procedure done. I don't want to tell his business. Rich had a procedure done yesterday. Everything went well, so that's good. That's good. Daniel says, I like the comic one better. I do too. As far as a toy goes, he's just like I say, he's a lot more colorful. He's brighter. He kind of, he stands out more. And let me see. I'm going to try to pull this toward me so I can get a little bit more control here. But yeah, he's really, really something else. I absolutely kind of dig him. And what's really great is I've told you guys about some of these guys I've been watching where, I've learned to kind of do some poses and stuff with these guys. Let me see here if I can do this and get him set up for you. If he'll do it for me. I know he'll hold it, but yeah, let's see if he'll hold it in here. Oh, well, no. The ground is softer here. It's like he's in the belly of a space slug. There you go. See, he's got his walk on. That's really, to me, like that's one of those cool things. It's like he's got his walk on. He's coming at you. Let me get this where it's more head on. There you go. Coming at you. Thanos doing his thing. Rock on. Rock on, Thanos. So yeah, I really dig this guy. I think I think he's really cool. He's a great a fine addition to anyone's collection. Well, while we've got this guy pulled up here is this actually is a Captain America that came with came in the retro wave, that first retro wave. He's a repack of what they call, is it the Wolf Cap America? He's gotten messed up from how I had him posed, which is unfortunate. But yeah, he's really cool. It's a good cap. It's a very good comic book cap. He's one that you can actually still get for a pretty decent price. He's got his mad face on, so don't make him angry. You wouldn't like him when he's angry, kind of thing. But he's got his shield and everything, of course, because what's Cap without his shield? And yeah, it's a good figure. It's it's got what I like about it is, again, it's got a comic book kind of feel to it. I actually tried to collect more comic stuff. I'll lean him up against things arm there, pull his head down just a little bit, see if that, yeah, now he's looking more dead on at camera. The mail, the kind of, they call it scale mail, is drawn on. It's not molded on there. He's got the pirate boots down here. He just looks like he stepped off the comic book page, and that's really what I look for. Our pets' heads are falling off. That's what I look for in these figures. I'm not so much interested in the Marvel Legends or the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of these heroes. I dropped a piece. Everything's falling apart all of a sudden. The whole live stream's come crashing down. But I like the comic book versions of these guys because those are the one. Honestly, it's the comic book versions that I grew up on. Just a second, please. And in doing so, it's just kind of the affinity I've kind of built up with them more than the. And if there's a really good version of one of the MCU characters, that kind of tickle my fancy. Like, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Hulk stuff with the MCU. There's not a lot that you can do different from Hulk to Hulk, unfortunately. So, but Cap, like I've got the Worthy Cap, what's called the Worthy Cap, which is the Captain America that came with Mjolnir. It was a Walmart exclusive. So I'm going to pull this guy out real quick and bring him back in a minute. This Captain America is absolutely the bee's knees. Now, this guy here is from the Marvel 80th anniversary collection. And he is much more realistic step off the comic book page. He's not done up like MCU Cap by any stretch of the imagination. He's done up like the comic Cap. You can see he's got the classic Cap thing. He's got those pirate boots going on. He's classic Cap colors and all, but they're a little more muted. They're a little darker, and he really is what he is actually is he's an Alex Ross painting brought out into action figure form. So there's a little bit of realism to him, but he is but he's still very comic book accurate. And I dig this figure so much. The thing is outside of this, the scale mail here, and I can't get it to focus in real good. The scale mail here is molded on rather than drawn on. So it's got some texture to it. And he had two heads that he came with. Let me see if this is the one. No, I don't think this is. He's got another head that actually has like seams in it where like you could see where it was sewn on and that sort of thing. And it's just a really, really cool figure to have. Now, he's going to be a little bit harder to find than the other Cap I showed you. But man, it's definitely a cool Cap to have on the shelf. I was able to find him at Walmart around the time he was out on the shelves at the Wally World. So that was a cool find to have and be able to have him in the set, in the collection, because he is a great looking Captain America. And when Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who oppose his shield must yield. That's what they said in the old Captain America song back in the 60s. I'd like to do something here. Let me see if I can. We'll party with that a little bit later on. This thing, I might have shown this thing off already before. Look at that guy. I mean, look at the big chunkiness and just the gloriousness of that thing. Like, what a great. Now, you know what? When we were joking last night about let's talk about rock characters. That. Sorry, ate the head of Iron Man. Nope, don't tell Haley that. We were joking about my whole take on rock characters in He-Man and in GoBots. The Thing is not a rock character. His skin, his hide just was so thick, and over time, without the proper skincare treatment, it cracked and basically turned to rock. But this is just an amazing figure. And I didn't pull off. I've got a couple here that I'm going to actually compare their first appearance with the Toy Biz line with their modern stuff. And I didn't pull the Thing off the shelf because the Thing that I have up there, the Toy Biz version, has his trench coat and his glasses on, and those glasses will fall off and are pretty easy to lose and everything. But look at this guy. I mean, just... he has extra hands, that are not just fist and they're kind of open like that there. He's got this articulation at the knees, and what they've started doing with these bigger figures especially is hiding the joints with it's almost a double jointed articulation. And so you end up with like a kneecap that kind of that hides a little bit of the articulation. and you've got enough of a chest swivel up here. Like you don't really have an ab crunch with him, but his upper torso twists back and forth pretty freely. So you can have him reared back, ready to punch. The only thing that would make this any more articulate, really, of the useful articulation is some type of butterfly joints on the shoulders, so you could have, but I mean, look, like it's clobbering time. What a great figure. And what a great character. I love the thing. I love the Fantastic Four. So what's really fun is to size him up, and we'll do that later. We'll size him up with the Hulk, with what is my favorite Hulk figure. So, in fact, hey, there's Spider-Man. This is the Retro Wave Spidey, and you can see he's getting ready to thwip. He's like, "Hey, got my hand on my chest, or got my hand on my hip, ready to thwip." This guy will just do, like, y'all remember watching Todd McFarlane do this stuff with Spidey, where it's like, he would just put Spidey in these poses, and and it's like this guy will almost do it. They've got a really cool thing where his legs have kind of they have almost a peg type thing going on at the hip joint. So they're down here, but they can also be up here, and so you get a lot more articulation. Like he can almost do the Van Damme splits, but you can get this guy into like those McFarlane style Spider-Man poses. Let me pull up real quick, just so you know what I'm talking about. Todd McFarlane, in a lot of ways, revolutionized the way that Spider-Man was drawn in the comics. He made Spider-Man seem a lot more agile and lithe and that sort of thing. Oh my goodness. Like even there right now, look, look at this picture of him swimming. Hold on. That's the wrong thing. Dadgummit. Look at this. Just will you look at that? Will you just look at it? I mean, look, he's like all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So like you have, let me see if I can make this happen here. I'm now going to attempt to pose Spidey like he is posed on the thing. I don't know that I can get his, maybe I can. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get his knee up that high. But I can pull this leg down like so and get up under there. So let's see. That needs to come up a little bit more. So now I'm playing with toys here. So now I'm just sitting here playing with toys, trying to get this pose just right. And we'll try to do a side by side comparison with him in a minute. So that's got to go up a little bit. Like he would just have him in such bendy little poses, but like right there, look at that. I mean, like immediately that that's Spider-Man doing his thwip thing, and I can't get his knee quite up as high like that is there. I mean, there's your thing. I've got his abs crunched basically all the way down, as much as I can get them forward, and he's got also there in his abdomen, he's got that abdomen thing there as well as a crunch at the waist, and so you can bring him down a click at the waist and bring him down here, but you can't quite get that knee up. But I mean, look at that. Let me get that head there. There we go. So pull that back in. That. Yeah. I mean, kind of. So yeah, I mean, that's what this guy can do, and it's a great figure. I'm sorry, I like this has become this has become my life. Look, here's one. Look at that. I don't know if I can do that one at all. I think what you've got there is again just a different angle of almost the same thing. I don't know where his foot is in this. So now we will that's over there like that. That's like that. Can I get that knee back? There we go. And then he will turn, look. Need that shoulder joint. There we go. There it is. And if I had the bendy webs attached to him, like that would be just about it. That'd be just about it. I should have him on a flight stand. Again, he can't quite bend up in half. He can't quite bend up in half like that. But look, I mean, it's a great figure. It's just the Spidey is, this is from that retro wave on the 90s style cards and everything, on the 90s style Spider-Man cards. And it's just unfortunate that like you can't find this guy. They should have overstocked him. Like this dude should be a peg warmer. There's so many out there, you know, but unfortunately, I don't understand the practices of our good friends at Hasbro, but unfortunately, that's not how it is. Now, the Spidey that's back there riding the Kingpin, this is the Spidey from last night that I was showing you. He's from the retro wave with Captain America, with that retro wave Captain America. And I have seen, and this is what really freaks me out because I don't know how to do it, but I have literally seen video, not just like trick photography, but video of Spidey, of these Marvel Legends Spider-Man figures, like balanced on bigger figures like this Kingpin, just like that on one hand. I can't do that. I haven't been able to figure out how to do that yet, but I've seen it done. And don't think if I can figure out how to do that you won't be seeing pictures on my Instagram at Steve Glosson on Instagram, because you will. It's really crazy. I saw where one of my church members like one of my action figure pictures the other day on on my Instagram. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know if they know what to do with that. This Kingpin is he's cool. I haven't had a lot of chance to play with him a lot. He is a repaint, I believe, of the Build-A-Figure Kingpin from a wave a couple of years back that had like Spider-Man in the more modern looking symbiote suit and the Red Goblin, which is basically Carnage on the Green Goblin's body, on Norman Osborn's body. And that Kingpin was like this, only the vest was white, and I think the ascot was black, and the pants were white. Here you got a purple panted Kingpin there, as you can see. So I'm sorry I got away from StreamYard. I want to see if there's anything in the chat. Disney reusing animatics is insane. It happens so much. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Look at vintage rip-off Star Wars toys on this auction called Galaxy. Okay, no, won't do that. The Batman cover is one of the best. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so we're not talking about Steve. Someone said the Thing looks like Korg. All right, Luke G, I see you and I hear you. But I'm just going to tell you, Korg looks like the Thing. So anyway, this Kingpin figure he was on the retro card too. And so they did his like animated color. So his vest, his shirt and everything is kind of that orangey yellow with a blue ascot, white coat. He's got his little cane there with him and everything. And he comes with an extra head that's kind of a beat up head, like he's been fighting Daredevil or something. And it looks angry. This just looks kind of like the severe Kingpin head. So yeah, I dig this. I like the big chunky figures. That's why when you're talking about like Ursa Major from that Build-A-Figure line, it really kind of calls to me because it's big and chunky. Same thing here with Kingpin. I also just like having Kingpin as a bad guy for Spider-Man because, as I've said, I believe with my whole heart that Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery is one of the best. And so I want to show you, I found the video that I was talking about last night. This is from Machu Customs on Instagram. And this is his shelf there. Let me do this real quick. Make sure that's right. Customs by Machu, M-A-T-C-H, Match, U, the letter U. So this is basically a video of his display with Spider-Man and some of his allies, but also just a lot of his Rogues Gallery. So let me pull that up here and let's get to it. Check it out. Well, I thought check it out. There we go. So you can see like in the back Rhino and Scorpion, and there's I mean he's going by really fast, but like they're all there. Sandman, Mysterio, Electro, Venom, and then there's a bunch of Spider-Man from all over the Spider-Verse. So yeah, he's just got a great setup. But again, he's got figures that I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in being a completist when it comes to Marvel Legends. I'm more like, hey, what do I like, and I'll grab those. And that's kind of what I'm showing you tonight. Is I can't imagine people are enjoying this. Backwards chat. They can't. The read can't. You what? You can't read the chat backwards, Steve. I didn't mean to read the chat backwards. I was just seeing what else was going on. Scott Campbell draws a good Spidey too. Okay. Anyhow, yeah. So I'm sure this is boring. So I'll just hurry it on up and get back into what I was going to do. Speaking of Venom, which I did mention him a little bit while ago. This Venom here is, I think he comes from the Absorbing Man wave. He's very much kind of like a classic Venom. He doesn't have like the big, he's got the wide grin and everything and the big eyes, but he doesn't have like the drooling mouth and the tongue sticking out and everything. I love this. The web here is custom webs by Bendy Webs, and they're black for the black symbiote Venom and everything. He is just really cool. I wish he had some hands that were kind of like I'm going to get you hands, but he's got a fist, and so what you do is like, and he can pose pretty good. He can. I had him on a flight stand doing some web slinging. But yeah, what I like about this is this is, like I say, Venom had a lot of things come about in recent years and a lot of changes over the years, depending on what artist got a hold of him and that sort of thing. but there's just something about that first appearance Venom that it's not like over the top and everything. It's just a bit. He's bigger than Spidey, and that smile just makes him scary. Like he's a great villain. He was a great foil for our boy Spider-Man. This Thor I had on a flight stand. I wanted to show off more of this cape, this custom cape, and what it could do. Let me real quickly here. I'll just sit here and pose him while we're talking. This is the 80th anniversary Thor, and I cut off the cape and put on this wired cape that I was able to find for a pretty decent price. And really glad that I did. I just absolutely, it's one of those things. It's like I never thought I would try to customize figures, but this guy, he absolutely he's another one. Like they just put a big rubber cape on him that made it impossible in a lot of ways to pose or to stand up. He just was not really great at all that. So, so I'm trying to get him in like the superhero landing pose kind of thing, only with Mjolnir on the hitting the ground. And but so having this cape that like I can put him, like you say, on a flight stand flying, and then his hair, he's got this long hair, and it's actually easier to get, to make him be able to turn his head with it, without this, the rubber cape, it will just get in the way, and you're kind of stuck with what you were stuck with. So let me see if this will do here. That'll do, pig. That'll do. So I can't pose and talk at the same time, apparently. This is a great YouTube video, Steve. Thank you so much for boring us to tears with your inaneness. Ace would be so proud of you. If y'all don't know Ace, you didn't listen to Skynext. All right, so I got that. And so now I want to put it down like okay. Almost there, ladies and gentlemen. I am so sorry. How am I married? Tell me that. Tell me this. How am I married? Let's see. I mean, strike a pose, right? Look at that cape flying up behind him. It's almost like he just landed on the battlefield, in this carnage. Bring me Thanos. That's really almost like what you got going on here. And so I couldn't get him all the way down to the ground with this pose, but like, there you go. I mean, look at that mess. Come on. That's a great pose of an action figure right there. So yeah, it looks like he just killed Iron Man. Data Lindy, I'm not here. I just got done. Carving Brooks was here over my door jam. That's right. Get busy living, get busy dying. As when Thor realized Iron Man was supposed to be his friend. I'm Thor. I just flew in to fight, and boy, am I Thor. I've been carrying around this hammer all day, and I am Thor. So What a great, I'm sorry, like to me, I'm just like, I'm geeking out over here because I'm like, that looks good. Well done, Steve. Even though Cyclops is dead, everyone's dead, and Thor is angry. And so he has smote his hammer upon the ground, and the energy thereof has sent it flying. So yeah, this Thor is the 80th anniversary Thor. He like I say, I had to cut off the rubber cape that he came with to be able to have this custom wired cape on here. And unfortunately, I think one of the wires in the actual bottom part of the cape might have snapped when they folded it up to send it, but that's okay. I'm not I mean, it happens. Stuff happens. So I'm really, this is the thing. This is what I was saying last night as I was talking, like just learning about, posing these things a little bit better, because you grow up with 5 points of articulation, and really they just, they stand there basically. So it is, it's just really cool. Let me see if I can get him to do what they call the walk. I don't know. I don't know if I've got this down or not. No, I've got that. Got his toe too far. Yeah. So yeah, the only thing about these figures is they've kind of lost the art of making stands for them, unfortunately. All right, let's see if I can get them to balance like that. Oh. That's what we call the walk. Look at that. I know there are other figures laying around him. I know. I get it. But look, I'm sorry. This is just that cape, the way it kind of billows, it just adds so much motion. He's walking with some purpose, and he's looking over at someone. I didn't even flip that over. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here messing with the camera. I need a producer. Look at that. That looks good to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I need someone to tell me that I'm wrong. See you, Stuffity. Thanks so much for hanging out. And I do need to call you and talk about your setup and stuff. Thanks for the congratulations. Yes. Thank you, Mark. It's like he's going to avenge them or something. And he's not playing around. Someone feed Cyclops a meal. Thank you. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I really like this Thor, and I was nervous about trying to put a cape on him, because again, it's just something, customizing is not something I've ever really done or been a part of, or even thought I had the ability to do. Now, granted, this was just me cutting one cape off and gluing another on, but still, it was a little nerve-wracking. There is a dude who has made some stands that I'm pretty excited about. And he actually made them to be customizable, so that you have different pegs that'll actually go in the stands. And like he showed himself with like some of his more expensive Marvel Legends with the stands on their feet, like swinging them over a pole, swinging them over like a gas burner, a fire kind of thing, to show that they were good to go. That they're tight. They're on their tight. All right, this is one I want to show you. I mentioned him last night, and Daniel and Andy said, "Get the man get him a diet." He's the one who's getting him on diet. This is Cyclops from the X-Men Classics line. This is Toy Biz. This is circa 2002 or 3. You can see his hand there has the two fingers as though he's touching his thing. Let me make sure I say that correctly, that he's touching his visor. opening his visor up like he does. This hand here has articulated fingers, but he doesn't really hold anything. So he just kind of, you keep it as a fist. Look at those. I don't know if you can see. Oh my gosh, I broke my fingers. What has become of my hand? It looks like a misshapen claw. So I don't know if you can see there. You see the two holes there in the back. Those holes plug into a stand that he comes with. And the problem is he just stands there like this, like there's no room for actual posing him or anything. But when you turn him, like his visor will light up, and there's a little action gimmick on the stand that makes another part of the stand blow off like he's shot it. Here's the problem: like after all these years, these Toy Biz joints on these toys are so loose. Toy Biz was like in the game of how many points of articulation can we get on the thing, and they would even put on their packaging, look, there's 42 points of articulation. There's 173 points of articulation. And so the problem is with all that articulation, over time, as one joint gets loose, it can't bear the weight anymore. And so they have kind of a hard time standing. And you can't really pose them very well. He is a very skinny. And you can kind of see, like, as you begin to compare figure molds with modern day things, you really do kind of see just like this in 2003, 2004. He's got no up and down head motion, but he does go side to side. This figure in 2003, 2004 is like, I can't believe we're getting such a great Cyclops. This is just, Cyclops is awesome. And I'll be honest with you, I never knew much. I was never a big X-Men fan of the comics and everything, so I didn't know a lot about Cyclops' personality, know if I liked him or not. I just know that I really like the gimmick of the visor and the laser beams coming out of the eyes. That captured my imagination for some reason as a kid. And so I was really happy to be able to grab this guy when he was on the shelves, not knowing years later that he wouldn't be able to stand up. And that honestly, as much as I do like this figure, I'm not a fan of this. I like Cyclops in the hood. I like it when Cyclops is hanging out with his buddies, on the street in the hood. I like his cowl, for lack of a better word, to cover up his whole head there. That's just kind of because that's the Cyclops I always knew and grew up with. This is more of the Jim Lee style Cyclops from the 90s into the 2000s. That X-Men version with the, no, I don't know why he wears the straps. There's nothing to it, and there's pouches on the belt, because the 90s were a time of pouches on belts and that sort of thing. Not fanny packs, pouches on belts. But here's the thing. Now there is a Cyclops that's come out recently on those retro cards with the hood, but he's an X-Force, or X-Factor rather, Cyclops. He's got the big white X over the light blue. I don't like that. I like yellow and blue Cyclops, with the hooded cowl and everything. The problem is you can't find the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends there. It has this weird blackwash on it that makes it kind of dark and dingy looking. And the only Cyclops of that version that's out right now with Marvel Legends is really not cheap on the aftermarket. So unfortunately, it's just one of those things like, well, I guess I'll just do without. And that's the other thing. It's like, I don't obsess over this stuff. Like when it comes, and I'm having withdrawals of Star Wars because they did reveal some vintage collection stuff today at the Hasbro Fan Fest Pulse thing. They introduced, they showed off some vintage stuff, and they're talking about, which ones do you want us to bring out of the vault? And that gets me off on a whole other rant when they're talking about hey, which vintage collection figures you want to see us bring out of the vault? All of them. Why are you not just adding one into each wave that you send out? Or, instead of doing waves of 4, do waves of 5, or do waves of 8, for crying out loud. They're flying off the shelves as soon as Walmart or somewhere puts them on the shelves. The collectors are buying them up at as fast a clip as they can. So obviously there are still these things are going for hundreds of dollars on the secondary market. So obviously there's a market for them. And you're leaving money on the table. No matter how bad your license with Lucasfilm may be, no matter what kind of money you feel like you're not getting, you're still leaving money on the table. And I can't imagine that is that's something that you want to do as a corporation. So here was a wave that was released today, and they're putting out. You've got Han Solo in his indoor trench coat, Luke in a weird turbinized version of his Hoth gear. You can see his face is just a little messed up. Admiral Akbar, because Lord knows we haven't gotten enough Admiral Akbars over the past 10 years. And a Royal Guard, Emperor's Royal Guard. What's really cool about these, though, is they do come on that vintage style card. And they've got the vintage collection style articulation and everything. So there's your Han Solo on the card, the trench coat Han Solo. This figure is one that actually is tempting to me, and that is the Royal Guard, because I love the look of the Royal Guard and I love that card. I was on Rule the Galaxy with Joseph. I can't think of how to say his last name. With my good friend Joe. I always want to say Molarino, but that's not it. Molarino sounds like something you say to a friend whose last name is like Mulberry or Mulkey or something. You're like, hey, Molarino, the Molster. And Joe was in here a while ago. Anyhow, I was on the Rule the Galaxy podcast. This now here, Daniel Landy, plain figure for $6 upcharge for cardboard. That's really true, but there's a lot of tooling and stuff that goes into these. When it comes to, look, I don't think that a $12 to $15 price point is good at all for these figures. But there is a lot that goes into the making of them, the tooling and that sort of thing, especially if you've got a new mold. My problem with this being at a $15 is they're just pulling out an old mold and putting it in. But I love the look of this card. I love the vintage cards. I would take them doing the retro collection, just all those 5 points of articulation if they could do it cheaply and wouldn't do the weathered card thing with a big old sticker on there. And I know people are like, well, then there'd be people who try to pass those off as originals. Listen, any collector worth their salt knows how to look for the manufacturing date and stamp and all that on the different figures. Anyway, and you can just hold those figures and tell the difference between them and the actual vintage Star Wars figures. I've always liked the look of the Emperor Royal Guard. But I was on Rule of the Galaxy and we're talking about I was talking about kind of how my collecting habits have changed from Star Wars to more of this Marvel focus. And I'm so excited about it. Like I just keep talking about it to you guys on the podcast and everything. And one of the things about, having just this huge Star Wars collection is it's all blacks and whites and grays and earth tones at best. And that's why figures like the aliens, the Cantina aliens, really popped, once you had like a big collection, because you had Walrus Man in that bright orange and his blue skin and green flippers. You had Greedo in that neon green bodysuit. Same thing with Luke, the X-Wing pilot, that bright orange X-Wing pilot suit. And then with these guys, the Emperor's Royal Guard, that red just stood out and made the figure seem very, very special against all those other figures. I have more Royal Guards apparently than I knew I had. I looked over the shelf and there are two vintage ones. There's one that's not so vintage. There's one that's not up. There's one up there. So like right now there are 4 Royal Guards in my eye line, and I didn't realize that there were 4 sitting out. So It's an embarrassment of Star Wars figure riches. One of the things we'll do sometime is I'll just pull out the tackle box storage things that I've got and just start going through and see if I can name the figures and figure out where they came from, because there's so many. So there's the Royal Guard, Akbar. This is basically a repack of the 3 3/4 Black Series Admiral Akbar that went out to Walmart's exclusively. And not Walmart's, like, I'm not saying Walmart's like, hey, let's go down to Walmart's and get us something. No, like Walmart. This was an exclusive. Those 3 3/4 inch Black Series figures were Walmart exclusives and exclusives, if you will. And this is basically a repack of that on that vintage card with that shot of Admiral Akbar. And look, honestly, I'm a sucker. I'm a nostalgia sucker. Those things take me back to 6-year-old Steve, and getting these figures at Christmas or on my birthday, and just no matter how obscure the character was, it was Star Wars, and they got added into the collection, and it was play time. This Hoth Luke figure, like I say, he looks a little bummed up, little banged up. I can't think if they've done this before or not. I know that I have a pretty good Hoth Luke that actually hangs from an ice cave that the Wampa came from. And these are from around, were they Power of the Jedi? Or I feel like it might have been Power of the Jedi stuff. But that face, they just can't seem to sculpt Mark Hamill's face very well on a lot of these figures. He always looks so strange on these figures. So those were the 4 that were announced. And as I said, they were talking about, I saw another thing where they were like, what do you want to see us bring out of the out of the vintage collection vault? Well, all of them, stop being persnickety about it all and bring them all, every single one of them. And get your money that's been left on the table, for whatever reason. You're not, I know that Star Wars is now owned by Disney, but you're not Disney anymore. You're Hasbro, and you can do things differently than Disney, and no one's going to get mad at you. It's fine. We believe in you. We all believe in you, and we believe that you can do better. Anyone have any idea how long I've been going? A long time. Well, goodness gracious, I have just run my mouth and run my mouth and run my mouth, and I feel like I've bored everybody. So we're going to have to wrap it up because I've been going forever. I didn't get these eggs all opened. I wanted to show the difference between the old Archangel and the new Archangel, and the old Hulk and the new Hulk, and the old Iron Man and the new Iron Man. I just had too much planned. And it's not that anyone would care. It's just the stuff that I like to talk about. So, real quick, let's see if I can set these up over here. That is okay. So right there, I just set Nature Boy Ric Flair out. That is Sergeant Slaughter, and these are done up like the Muscle. They're the same color and everything. Muscle was a line of figures that were like little bitty monsters. There's Hacksaw, and there was like a story behind them. I think they were Japanese. There's the Ultimate Warrior. So what you got here is Jake the Snake, Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair. I believe. I don't think that's Greg the Hammer Valentine. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ultimate Warrior. So let's pop open some more of these Easter eggs real quick. Ooh. This is Ant-Man. He's a Ushi. Ant-Man. I feel like this is going to be Ushi as well. Ooh. War Machine. He looks familiar. I may have that one. I don't know. He looks familiar, though. Oh, here's another muscle guy. It's the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase. Everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right. Here, we'll just throw those back. We'll throw the empty ones back there. That's a good idea. That'll add to the shot, won't it? That'll make a good shot. All right. Let's see what's in here. This feels like an Ushi. I was wrong the last time. Okay, this is cool. This is a glow-in-the-dark one, and I believe that is Daredevil. You can tell because of his horns, but that one actually glow in the dark. I have one like that up here that'll glow in the dark. It's not Daredevil; it's a different character. In fact, that may be why the War Machine looks so familiar to me, or the Falcon. No, this is Falcon. This is the glow in the dark Falcon. I already had him. All right, let's see what's next. This is a purple egg, and it is the Iron Sheik. The Iron Sheik, Russia #1, Iran #1, America Patui. The Iron Sheik. Yeah. Sheiky baby, as they call him. All right, here's another one. This is a Gucci. Oh, sweet. The Green Goblin. I've been kind of low-key digging on the Green Goblin lately. It may be because of the Green Goblin from the retro carded line. That's right, Marco. Muscle came in a trash can. And I've just really dug the Green Goblin lately. I think he's a great foil for Spider-Man. I like his color. Here's another glow in the dark one. This is like an Iron Man right there. I don't know why I stuck my own in there. So the Ushis all come with like back this up a little bit. There we go. The Ushis will all come with like a glow in the dark figure in the thing with them. So really cool, really cool, really cool. All right. Cap, can I put you back here as well? There we go. He was in the way of some eggs. Oh, another glow in the dark one. And it appears to be, this is Spidey. All right. Spider-Man, glow in the dark. Turn off the dark. Spider-Man. All right. This feels like muscle. And it is. And it is JYD, the Junkyard Dog. That hurt my throat. Didn't hurt it. It tickled it. Tickled the throat. Oh, really cool. This is an Ushi. And it's Vision. Does everyone love Vision now? I feel like everyone loves Vision after the old after WandaVision. I think that he's become kind of a fan favorite, which is, something that Marvel Studios has done very well since Iron Man. Iron Man was a C-list character at, B-list at best. And to bring people didn't know who Iron Man was. The common normal person didn't know who Iron Man was. Well, now they know, and they definitely didn't know who Vision was. Well, now they do, and that's awesome. Here is Thor, the squishy Thor, and then the last egg is a muscle, and it is an announcer. Is that Mean Gene? It's Mean Gene. Mean. Whoo, Gene. Well, Chucky from Kentucky, what a great way to end with some Ushis and some wrestling muscles. We started with a Easter egg hunt, and this is a great box full of things. You're too kind. So overly kind, and I greatly appreciate it, man. And I appreciate everyone who's subscribed to this channel. I basically just did an episode of Geek Out Loud with visual aids. Let's be honest, is exactly what just happened. And I know that y'all don't necessarily want this to be that. And I know that most people on YouTube are like, 15 to 20 minutes is what really needs to go. But this is what I enjoy. I enjoy doing live type stuff, whether it's on the Mixler or here, and hanging out and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I appreciate you subscribing. I encourage others to. I'd like to get back into kind of some editing style stuff, like I did with some of the earlier videos, and see what I can do and kind of have some fun with it and see what I can make happen, that might be kind of neat. I got a little discouraged with trying some of the stuff because it was, I was having some glitches and stuff that I didn't know how to fix. And so and then I realized, I'm like, well, I do live well. That's what I want to do. I don't know if I do it well, but I like to do it live. I'm really digging what I've done with that Thor, by the way. Maybe it's just me. I'm really digging what I've done with that Thor. Everyone, thanks so much for joining us. We wish you a Merry Christmas. and we hope that you and yours do great. I should have played the Kaiju PSA. Remember this one?
As we near the 22nd century, mutated creatures are more prevalent than ever before. First, there was King Kong. Japan had Godzilla. Africa had the Helephant. As kaiju
Helephant.
continue to
Y'all remember
plague our
Helephant?
fragile Earth, we must all remain ever vigilant and be prepared. Remember these safety tips in the event of a kaiju attack. Evacuate major cities. Kaiju have never attacked small rural towns. Get to the country or a farm as fast as possible. Stay away from the ocean. Landlocked areas rarely have anything to fear, as the creatures tend to emerge from the seas. Use women as a distraction. Kaiju seem to be drawn to screaming blondes or tiny twin ladies. Gents, you'll be better protected if you've got a gal handy. If you memorize these simple life-saving steps, you too can live beyond the next kaiju cataclysm.
That's it. That wraps us up on Geek Out Loud, the YouTube live stream, celebratory live stream. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate you being here with us. Hope that that it hasn't been too boring for you. Hope that you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Shaz says now it's time to do some dioramas. You have no idea. It is time to get to steady crafting. The email is geekoutonline@gmail.com. That's geekoutonline@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you. If you would shoot us emails that way. We've got some emails now. Finally, we're sitting on some emails, and I'm really excited about that. And so we'll have those for the next episode. Also, as we close out, don't forget Patreon. We appreciate everyone supporting us at patreon.com/geekoutloud or going over to the sites and using the Amazon links. That all helps us out. Until next time, I'm Steve Glosson, and we will see you around the Golaverse on the next Geek Out Loud, which will probably be soon, but also I know there's a Rock Out Loud coming soon featuring Smallville Music Part 2 with Derek Russell. So we look forward to all of you joining us and being there. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, everybody.